In this video, I'm going to show you how I made these beautiful light boxes, dovetail joints, smart electronics inside. And to make it hard, I'm going to use scrap materials, starting with this old pallet.
Enhance. Enhance. Enhance.
Just print the damn thing!
HT is printed on that pallet, and that means it's heat treated and relatively safe to use. This old school jointer works great. The instructions say that you can saw this, but it instantly started chipping out. I decided to push through. Obviously you can use woodworking tools on this, but a table saw is not one of them. I confirm a sharp plane works and was able to clean up the edge. I tested a lot of materials to make red light, and this 3mm Perspex was the best. You can get a sheet from Jaycar. The box dimensions are very precise, but they are only compared relative to the final size of this Perspex sheet. I basically built the box around it. This wood is super hard, so I decided to only cut one tail per joint. And the width of that tail is determined by this crack. I'm going to cut that bad bit out. They recommend an angle ratio of 8:1 for hardwood, but I decided to use 7:1 in this joint because it just looks better to my eye. I'm now cleaning it up to ensure it's all square. This is the critical step, scribing the lines for the tails. They obviously need to exactly line up. At this point, I've marked each joint because they are all individually tweaked to fit. And I'm cutting 8 joints. boiled linseed oil. And then a couple hours later, shellac. This stuff dries so fast that by the time I do all 4 sides, I can start on the next coat. I did about 3 or 4 coats. My wife's friend Kylah runs Heirloom Laser, and she cut these letters perfectly. She has the full-on professional laser cutting, vinyl cutting machines and makes some really beautiful art. I will definitely think of incorporating her work in my projects again. Check out her social media links in the description. Kylah will be grimacing right now watching me do this. I get it on, but I have to deal with some bubbles, and I probably got some dust under it also. I cut that transfer tape bad. It left little bumps. I should have used scissors. I tried a different technique on the next one, and I think it worked a little better. I took this from a broken clock, so it cost nothing, which is good because I end up with a whole pile of broken glass.
Yes.
That's not how you do it. I struggled through this, and luckily by the last cut, I'm starting to get a reliable process. This cut is make or break. If it breaks bad, I'm going to have to buy a sheet of acrylic or something. Damn, it left a little bump that's too small to snap off. But I'll fix that with the sander.
Car's a mini.
It's not the size, mate.
It's how you use it.
Groovy, baby!
I can guarantee you haven't seen this before. I procrastinated on this step for days and decided to glue the glass in with 5-minute epoxy. I used the Perspex as a spacer and just slapped it on, trying to get it into any gaps. There's a small window, RR, about the 10-minute mark where the glue is like hard rubber. You could use a razor blade, but a sharp chisel cleaned it up great. I chose these Shelly smart switches because they can also work from 12 volts. I'll put links to all the electronic components in the description. I want a fairly beefy power pack because I've added a power out socket to the box. The idea is that it will power a strip light over my bench. This hookup wire is free. I salvaged it from an old Cat3 network cable. I normally have to use extra double-sided tape for these light strips. It comes in a 5-meter roll, but it worked great sticking it directly to the black plastic. Because I put my strip in the center, you see all the little red dots. To fix that, I'm going to make a light diffuser from a computer monitor's broken LCD screen. I'm cutting these a little wider so that you have to curve them to fit. This tape is going to be brilliant for blacking out the light around the edges. The smart switches that I used are primarily designed for a smart home and to be controlled by one of these. So if you don't have a smart home, it's a bit of overkill, but they're cheap, easy to configure, and reliable. The first thing you do is connect something like a phone or an iPad to the device's Wi-Fi hotspot. And there it is there, Shelley. And what you need to do is connect to that Shelley's router or gateway address, which is 192.168.33.1. And there you are there. Right, so I'm going to change the button type. And currently it's a toggle switch, like the normal wall switch for your lights. I'm changing it to momentary. And that's basically it. If you want to use it from this page, turn it on, turn it off. I want to configure mine to connect to my home Wi-Fi, so then I can configure it with my smart home. So connect the Shelley device to an existing Wi-Fi network. Wi-Fi name. Mine is called Shed. You didn't hear that. Password. The device will try to connect to Shed. You can continue operating it at its new address. Okay. I'm using a program called Home Assistant, and if I click on devices and search for Shelley, it's probably that one. On, off. Yep, that's it. I can rename it. Rename, but now it's in here. I can use the switch on the back, or I can control it from there. Okay, here's a simple automation. When the main shed light is turned on, it turns on the recording light. Delay, turns on the on-air light. When the main shed light is turned off, there's a delay, and they all turn off. And they can still be controlled by the switch at the back. The video in the top left is recommended by YouTube for you, and the video in the bottom left is my last video. Thanks for watching. Enjoy.